Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to a brand new series of Sid Meier's Civilization 5. Taking a little bit of a break from Beyond Earth and switching back to trusty old favourite Civ 5, and I figured it was time to give Emperor difficulty another try. Now I know that I have already beaten the game on Emperor difficulty once, but if you watch that series you will know that I pretty much won due to a glitch, and I shouldn't have actually won that game even though as far as the computer is concerned I did. However, even if I had have won it, would have been such a close victory that if I can't win Emperor by a significant lead, I've got no chance with Immortal or Deity. So we're going to go in and concentrate on science a little bit more this time because we don't want to fall behind. I will have a science victory sort of queued up ready for a backup plan. But as for my civilization to play, I thought we might go with France. Why not? I'm doing an EU4 playthrough at the moment as France. I've just finished doing a Crusader Kings 2 tutorial series as France, and I've never played as France in Civilization 5. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to find... of course, it's under Napoleon. So, France's unique ability, they have City of Light. Basically, museums and wonder theming bonuses are doubled in their capital. So, we are going to try and head towards a culture victory because that's mainly what the French civilization is about in Civ 5. They're very, very suited to a culture victory. So, providing we can get a lot of world wonders within our capital city, and we can get some theming bonuses from the great works that are in them, we can actually double those bonuses. We have one unique unit, which is the Musketeer. The Musketeer basically just replaces the Musketman and has an additional 4 strength. So not an amazing unit, but obviously it is stronger than the standard Musketman. And we have not a unique building with France. We actually have one of the few unique tile improvements in the game. Now the Chateau can be built once you've researched Chivalry. It can be built on any open tile next to a resource. I think it has to be a luxury resource, but it can't be built next to another chateau, so you do have to spread them out a little bit. However, they are really, really nice upgrades because they give you 1 gold and 2 culture per turn, and they also give you a 50% defensive bonus for any units standing on them, or any friendly units standing on them. Not only that, once you research flight, the bonus goes up from 1 gold and 2 culture to 3 gold and 3 culture. So it's really nice to get as many chateaus as possible. So we're going to be playing as Napoleon of France. We are going to have a random map type. We're going to be playing on a standard size 8-player map with the difficulty on Emperor, and we're going to play the game on standard pace. I think when you get into the higher levels, it really suits you to play on the epic game pace, but we're not going to do that for Emperor because we didn't last time. So let's go ahead and start the game. So here we are, if we just cut the narrator off there. So, we don't know what type of map we're on, and I did choose random. Of course, it's always easy to find out, even when you choose a random map. You just hit escape, and then you can just go and have a look and see that we are actually on a Pangaea. I don't think I've played on a Pangaea map on Civ 5 for a little while. That's not too bad. We can certainly do that. Doesn't look like we have a start anywhere near a coast, which could be a little bit problematic. I can see that we've got some silver, so at least we do have a luxury resource close by. We've also got some bananas and some oranges. It would be nice to know what else is around before we settle. We would be on a river, which would be really good for us. Let's just take our warrior down to the south a little bit and see what we can see. Nothing else around here. I mean, I could try moving my settler around, however, I don't think that's necessarily the best thing to do. Let's put that on the research info. We could move our settler around and lose a few turns. There might be something nice over here to the west, but I really can't tell at the moment. So I think settling in place is probably the best thing for us to do. Yeah, not an awful lot around there, but that's not too bad. The first thing we are going to do is get ourselves a monument started. And we are going to want to get that stone connected as well as getting the silver as quickly as possible. So let's go ahead and have a look at the sciences available. Now, in order to get silver, we are going to need to get, is it metalworking? It's been a while since I've played. Just mining, just standard mining. I've got a head full of tech from Beyond Earth now, and it's starting to get confusing. So we could literally go straight into mining And it's probably not a bad idea to do that. And we would get that under masonry. That's quarry. Can never remember where these things are. You have a couple of months of not playing. Mining, there we are. I was jumping too far ahead of myself. So we could get mining. It is nice to get shrines up and running very early. It's certainly going to be good for us to get a granary or two. In fact, I'm almost tempted to actually go into pottery first, just so we can get an early granary out. We're not going to need the silver straight away. It would be nice to be able to get the stone up and running, but we've also got bananas within range, and there's more bananas around probably because they do tend to group up. Let's go on to the next turn. So as you can see, we instantly drop from the top of the scoreboard to the bottom because the AI gets all of its bonuses, which is a little bit of a pain, but never mind. So what do I want to do here? I think we'll head south one tile. I was going to go across onto the hill, which I'm still going to do, but it was worth moving the extra tile first because obviously crossing the river and moving onto the hill was going to use all of my movement one way or another. Hopefully we can find a few ancient ruins before the AI goes and finds them all. It does actually look like we are close to the coast. That's unless this is an inland sea, which is every possibility. But it might be worth building a city down here. We'd then have access to the sea. We've got Wales down here, which is quite nice. We've also got floodplains wheat, which is very, very good for a city. So that's not bad. That looks like it's a forest. I thought it was a barbarian camp for a moment, but it doesn't look like it is. So we'll continue to have a look around. We found our first ancient ruins. We should be able to grab that nice and easily. Got some mountains here. Possible location for a city up here. We could get an observatory. Let's go and grab that. What do we get? We get pottery. Well, that's quite nice. So it's unfortunate that it actually gave me the one that I was already working on. I was only a few turns away from completing. But, oh well, never mind. Let's go and get mining. Now, which direction do I want to go in here? Let's start heading off in this direction. Another thing that I should do is just make sure that we are working on production focus, and we will reselect that tile with 2 food. It's the best tile because we can get 2 food and 1 production. I'm just going to explain this again because people do ask, because a lot of players who play Civ 5 do this, is you actually put your city on production focus but then manually lock in the food tile. And people say, well, why don't you just select food focus? There's a very simple reason for it. When Civilization 5 calculates population growth, it does that on the beginning of the turn. So when the turn starts, the first thing Civ 5 does is it works out how much food you've got and if your population has grown. If your population has then grown, it'll give you a new citizen and auto-assign that citizen to one of the tiles. Now, if you've got that citizen auto-assigned to a food tile, which you would do on default focus or food focus, if you have that citizen assigned to a food tile, he won't be counted on that turn because the food has already been counted before the citizen was born. However, if you've got the city on production focus and the turn starts, the game calculates the food, produces a new citizen, that citizen will then be put onto a production tile, and then the production is calculated. So as it stands at the moment, if my city were to grow on the next turn, that new citizen would go onto this production tile and I would get an extra 2 production. I mean, not an extra 2 production per turn, it would only be 1 turn's worth, but you never know when those extra 2 hammers might shave a turn off building something. So that's why you'll see a lot of people who play a lot of Civ 5 putting their cities onto production focus and then manually selecting the food tiles and locking those in. Okay, let's keep heading on over to the east and see what we can find. Got some more stone over here. Well, it's definitely a coastline. Whether or not it is the edge of the map or whether it's an inland sea, that is something that we've yet to find out. I would quite like to find at least 1 more ruins before we finish here. There's a barbarian camp. Also, of course, we'd like to find some of the city-states, get some early money going on, and at the same time be able to do some quests for some of them. Looks like we've found the Iroquois. Now, he can be quite aggressive. Hopefully he's not going to be. I think what I might do now is turn around and head in the other direction, because if there's any ancient ruins around here, he's probably already had them. Let's go ahead and grab the scout as quickly as possible. What I could also do is just carry on moving to the east and just let my scout travel off to the west, and that's a very good reason why. Because if I'd have gone back to the west, I'd have missed that ancient ruin. And I should just be able to beat Hiawatha to it, which is nice. And we've got some upgraded weapons. Not the most useful thing in the world, but better than nothing. Did we actually move 2 spaces there? I thought it was just 1. Okay, somebody's already founded a pantheon. What have they taken? And they've taken the Goddess of Protection. Okay, fair enough. Let's carry on. We haven't bumped into anybody else yet. We have expanded out towards the silver, which is quite nice. We're still on 4 happiness. Let's move down here. Another floodplains wheat. Yeah, it certainly would be nice to settle down here somewhere. Not that far, of course. We may well get a city down here. We would have sheep. 2 sources of sheep. Where would we want to settle? On the hill, probably, because we would want to be on the river. And there's no point settling down here if it's not going to be coastal. There is a lot of desert, though, which makes it not an ideal place to settle. But having a floodplains wheat, 2 sources of sheep, and oranges... 1, 2, 3. 2 sources of oranges. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2 sources of oranges, 2 sheep, and a floodplains wheat, and 2 sources of fish. That could be quite a good city. We will have a look over to the west, because there might be something better over there. But certainly that is looking like a good spot for our second city right now. Let's start moving you guys closer to home. Also, I don't think Hiawatha's going to be lined down in this direction. He may do, but we'll have to see how that goes. We've got our scout now. I think it's probably time to go and get a worker. It's usually a good idea to let your city get to at least size 4 before you actually go ahead and build a settler. Now, obviously, I need to... my city's grown, and I'm stagnating at the moment. I've kind of derped a little bit because I forgot to move that citizen back to food production. Is it worth getting the granary very early on? It might be, but I think we can probably... No, we need the worker because we need to go and get some farms going. But let's go in here and make sure that we'll untick you and put you on a food tile. Might as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Unit needs orders. Let's go and have a look around with our scout. See what we can find. And we get ourselves our first social policy. So we're going to go down tradition because why not? Tradition is very, very useful. And just having the opener and having the increased border expansion is worth having it. So let's get that done. Let's move off in this direction. Got some spices over here. You guys can just move this way. Just keep your eye on where those barbarians are. That's still looking like my prime candidate for my next city at the moment. We've now got mining. It's not all that important, of course, because we can't actually field any workers at the moment. I think we're going to go into animal husbandry, mainly because I'd like to see where the horses are. That might alter my decision when it comes to where I want to place my second city. So we'll do that. There is some more ancient ruins and some more bananas. Got some marsh up here. A lot of jungle around. A lot of rivers around. So potentially a good spot to be. That is fantastic because it's pulled up 3 barbarian camps, which I didn't give 2 hoots about. This bit's quite closed in with mountains. This could be a good spot for a city. It certainly would be a little bit more defensible. I think I might take this guy up here and we'll just have a quick poke around this side of the mountains. See what we can find. Still haven't found any city-states yet, which is... a little bit weird. Are we going to go north or are we going to go back south? I think we're going to go back south and then head across this way to the west and see what we can find. 5 turns away from animal husbandry. Still got our happiness, so that's not a problem. Would be nice if we can find 1 or 2 more ruins. See, I did say there'd be a lot of bananas around. They do tend to put them quite close together, especially when you have a lot of jungle. We've got another policy already, which is really nice. We're not really building any wonders right now, so let's go for oligarchy. Oligarchy is not the most important thing to get early on. We prefer just to be able to go straight into legalism and landed elite, which you used to be able to, but obviously since they nerfed tradition, you have to pick up oligarchy first now before you can get legalism, but it's not the end of the world. We will endure. So, not a lot interesting up there, and of course we are still getting quite close to... Hiawatha's borders there. Let's carry on moving over to the west and see what we can find. We found some gold. We found some more wheat. So there's a few spaces around that could potentially be good for another city. Again, a lot of mountains around. Some more barbarians. There's the camp down there. We're just going to take a little trip to the north and avoid that. Oh, that hill again, is it? Yep. Would just be nice to find one more ancient ruin. It'd be nice to get maybe a little bit of faith, or possibly even to get some population or some culture. Anything would be nice. The free tech wasn't bad. It was just a shame that it gave us a tech that we were already sort of 80% through researching, which is a little bit of a shame. Okay, there we go. We have animal husbandry. Let's keep looking around with you guys. Oh, look, we found some more barbarians. How fantastic. Probably going to get attacked by those guys. Let's have a look. Do we have any horses near to Paris? None that I can see. What about where we were going to settle our second city? Nope, no horses down there anyway. Looks like here Wath has got some. Can I see any horses anywhere near my city? No. So it hasn't really changed my opinion about where I'd like to settle. Ah, we found a city-state. Good stuff. Can't tell who it is yet because we're not close enough. What are we going to go for now? I guess it would make sense possibly to get archery. We do know there are a lot of barbarians around. It would be nice to get an archer or two out. So let's go ahead and do that. Paris is size 3. It will be size 4 quite soon. I think after we get that worker out, we are going to go ahead and get ourselves our first settler. And we've met Japan. Fantastic. Now, where did we run into Japan? We actually ran into them up there. They've been fighting someone already. Their scout's taken a little bit of a beating. There's so a little bit of free gold. And I think we'll just sort of head back around this way, maybe up to the north a little bit. Try and keep our spearmen close to home, just in case we do end up getting attacked by these filthy barbarians. Let's carry on with our scout. Got another barbarian camp up here. So, yeah, a lot of barbarians around. So, you want... I'm going to refuse this. It's nice to get some early gold per turn, but I'd sooner have mutual embassies. It just makes it less complicated later on, and he may become aggressive, so don't necessarily need him to know where my capital is right now. Let's start moving in this direction. Of course, we're trudging through marsh, so that's going to use up most of our movement. We'll wait for the work to complete, even though we will grow on the next turn. That's put us up to size 3. We are stagnating again now, so we do need to go in and unlock that tile. We do have some more food tiles now, so we'll go ahead and unlock the oranges. I really should pay more attention to which tiles I end up unlocking, because I do have a habit of failing to go back and manually edit these tiles. But 11 turns, yeah, I think we're going to wait until we get to size 4 before we actually produce ourselves a settler. Jump across the river. Looks like her's got some gold as well. Carry on going in this direction. There's another city-state, so let's go and see if we can trip their borders. Be another 15 gold, if nothing else. And who's that? People who like the shiny things the most. Wow, Hiawatha has a lot of money. So, let's have a look up here. There's Cahokia. 30 gold were the first people to meet them. They're probably going to have a quest to get rid of these barbarians at some point, but we'll try and keep out of their way because we've also found Leventa. Another 30 gold. It's quite possible that there's nobody out on this corner of the map. That's quite a possibility. It's funny that nobody had found either of these two city-states, so we may even end up finding ourselves some ancient ruins down there. Now, we do have barbarians heading towards our workers, which I'd prefer they didn't. I'm not going to go ahead and upgrade the oranges right now because the point is you'd be removing the jungle and you get quite a decent bonus from oranges anyway. I'm going to move the workers over on to the silver. I know we're not working it yet, but we are going to need the happiness. We will get some farms, but I'm trying to keep away from these barbarians here. What are we going to build? I guess we could get a caravan. Do we have any possible trade routes at the moment? No. Oh, possibly. We could trade with Ur. Not terrible, but I think I want to get a shrine going. And that'll pretty much coincide with the city growing, and then we can get out a settler. So we're going to start work on a shrine. See if we might be able to get a religion. No, we'll wait until we can get mutual embassies. Yeah, Cahokia is under attack, but we fully expected that to happen. Now, let's attack these guys there. And I'm going to move my spearmen down one. Now, obviously, I can't get my spearmen onto the same tile as the workers. That's fine. This brute can't actually get to my worker. This is a hill. And it would take him 2 turns to move around the hill. So we are safe until the next turn. So you guys can start working on the mine already. Going to leave you guys alone because I don't really care. And we'll just sort of nip down in this corner. Again, more bananas, more spices. Quite a lot of nice things around. And we've met Russia. Well, that could be interesting. Russia can be a real pain. They do like to expand quite a lot. And we've met Russia down here as well. So that pretty much does answer my question. Yes, there is somebody else down here. It'd be nice to find out exactly where. Could be quite a distance away. We haven't bumped into anybody else yet. Finding the other civilizations is important, of course, because it does give us bonuses to our science. Because for every other civilization you find that has already researched a science, you get you require less research to unlock a science, which is nice. So we'll put the spearmen on top of the workers. It does protect them nicely. But before we do anything else, I think we will end the video here because that's about the 20-minute mark. Not too bad. I could have had a slightly better start. I think we're in a relatively decent location. A little bit unhappy that we've got Russia in this game, although Hiawatha looks like he's going to be the runaway leader early on. Maybe we'll have to do a lot of bribing with the AI to get them to fight each other. I still would like to get out my second city. Not too sure if this desert area is going to be the best choice. Maybe I'll go and have a bit of a look down here once we've dealt with those barbarians and see what we can find. But we'll be doing that in the next video, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are enjoying Civilization 5 as France, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.